Welcome back to another edition of ZARR'S Spotlight of the Month.
Welcome to ZARR'S Spotlight of the Month TV show. Who will be this month's Spotlight entertainer? Sit back, enjoy, and tell a friend to watch ZARR'S Spotlight of the Month TV show.
I'm here today again with returning guests from the filmmakers Deep Dive, Mr. Lovail Long and Salahuddin. All right, so what I wanted to do is this is kind of like a follow-up from that segment. When we were talking, you asked some information that you wanted to share, and I wanted to make sure that you got it out because I thought it was real important information. Tell us a little bit more about what you're doing, where you've been as far as developing your business, and some of the events that you've been putting out there. So,
all right. So right now, what's on deck now? Everybody's going crazy about is Confession of a Side Chick.
Yeah.
We did that July the 20th. It's actually me and Salahuddin sophomore project.
Okay.
So we was kind of a little nervous, because the Giz was such a big hit. And I told him after the Giz, I said, after you do 3,000 people, it's like, we not going to, it's going to be hard to top that. So, come with this sophomore project, people was whispering in our ears like, well, the Giz, a lot of people thought because it was the Wizard of Oz, that it was easy to write. And they were saying, well, y'all had a format and everything. And we knew we had a format, but it was a totally different play.
Correct.
And actually, we was ahead of the game because we was talking about gentrification in the music before it even happened.
Okay.
In DC, the Don't Mute DC and all that. That was the Giz was about the new DC moving in and keeping our music where it needed to be and not being deleted out. Mm-hmm. So we was in the city paper brought up that issue and called me and said, hey, well, you guys was the first one to talk about it.
Yeah.
So we was a kind of, a lot of people don't know we was a kind of a pioneer of already talking about where we seen where the music was going to go and the authenticity of our city going.
Correct. Yeah, that was a big thing in the news for back last month?
Yeah. So, we kind of was talking about that in the Giz. Mm-hmm. So, being a writer, and this our sophomore project, we was really like, okay, well, here we go. So, Vernon was the creator of it, Confession of a Side Chick.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, can we sit down and write something for this one? And we wrote. So they hear the feedback and mostly everybody saying it was better than the Giz. Mm-hmm. So we was shocked.
It was original.
Yeah, it was original. Mm-hmm. And I guess everybody didn't expect it to be that good. Mm-hmm. But when we sitting down with Vernon, we got 3 creative minds that's going. Mm-hmm. So you got to understand, magical things can happen. Being in the streets, like for his short life and all my life, I've been in the streets. For a guy that's been in the street, and a known guy that's been in the street, to test boundaries like that, you kind of like how they're gonna receive it. But we've been fortunate that everybody's enjoying what we putting out there.
Yeah, folks can always try to remind you of your past. Mm-hmm. And what you can't change is your past. You can only change your future. Yeah. Try to mold your future to go where you use what you have from the past and keep moving.
But I'm not too affected by people what they say because I couldn't help the way I was raised. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what a lot of people don't understand is we didn't come out. We just wasn't born to be what we did. It's a learned behavior.
Yeah.
And then there's certain things that's missing out of your life. So now now that I know, which I'm a mentor now.
Yeah.
So now I know is that you have to get in front of these kids' face. When we was growing up, we didn't have men that was, I could say, successful like that. Most men when I was growing up was working. If they was 9 to 5, or they was in the streets.
Yeah.
So we have so many different. We got directors, we got writers, we got rappers now. We got Like the black man has definitely came up from years, and not just that, we had a women that's doing superior things.
Yeah.
So it's kind of different now from when I was growing up.
When I look at my past, I just say everything we did in our past got us to where we at now. So
Correct.
I don't hate nothing about my past. I love every situation I've been in, cause like I say, prison was like the best thing for me, because first off, I linked up with him, and second of all, I took some time to look at life and find a different way to go about it. Cause if I would have never got locked up, I was just getting more braver and more braver.
Somebody's probably gonna be visiting your grave.
Yeah. So I was getting more cold hearted. So prison kind of like slowed me down and put me in a perspective. So I love my past. I love everything. I ain't gonna say I love everything I did, but I love everywhere I've been and everything I learned throughout my life, because that made me who I am now. And
Correct. You do what you got to do, and you don't allow your current circumstance or where you are to dictate the possibility of where you can go, because you have no idea. You just have to go through the door and keep pushing. So that's some real stuff.
Yeah. So that's where we're here today. So as soon as we finish, how they say it, paying our debt to society, which, like he said, was if we would have never went to prison, I'd have probably never met him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we changed each other course, because having him in prison and him writing kind of gave me a focus to want to teach him. Like, we can do something different. And, when you're walking a path with someone instead of by yourself, kind of make it easier, because I'm kind of like, I can't do the wrong thing because he going to hold me accountable.
Yeah.
And if he do the wrong thing, he definitely know I'm going to hold him accountable.
Yeah.
So, it kind of works for both of us. And then hooking up with a guy that is a Christian from church, it's a odd balance, but it works for us. So, and we being able to, with a real story and where we come from, and the product that we're putting out, and not stopping, keep on moving, and not taking the word no.
Correct.
We have built a brand that people in our city is respecting. And we on the Kazar show. I remember one time we couldn't even get on the show. They wouldn't even put us on a flyer.
They'll put you on a poster, that's for sure.
Yeah. Nah,
it won't be the way you want.
Yeah, we first started. I remember my first time. They had me on the show. I won't mention the show. They had me on the show, but they didn't put my name on the show, the flyer, or nothing.
Oh my God.
And I was like, hey, well, I'm doing y'all show today. Well, y'all think I should say my name or something? It's like, we don't have enough room for that.
Oh my God.
I said, I don't know. And the same person now they asking to work with me. So.
Oh my God. So not everybody starts the same place and chooses different directions. I actually know what you're talking about, but it's okay.
Yeah, we've been on a journey these last 2 years now. Yeah, about 2 years. It's short, but it's long for us.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You mentioned Kazar show. That's nice, but Kazar show is not on Ben's Chili Bowl. I don't have a picture hanging up there.
Yeah,
and that's big.
Yeah,
that's big. This is historic.
Yeah,
and believe it or not, those same pictures will be in like the museum for African American.
Right.
And ain't nothing like going into a place like that and seeing your stuff, seeing you reflected. That's huge.
Since we've been on that wall, we ate a whole lot of hot dogs. I think I've been there every week after that. So that was that's like the first thing when we hit the MGM.
Yeah.
That was very emotional for me and him because of what we've been through incarceration, and a lot of people, don't understand that I was on the bottom bunk, he was on the top bunk in prison, and we was talking about this.
Yeah.
Like he only knows, he know what we talked about when we was incarcerated.
Yeah.
See, it's all fine and dandy. We in front of the cameras now.
Yeah.
But we was like in a cell with 60 guys, killers, rapists. We was incarcerated, and we had this vision.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, if we do everything right, man, our city gonna love us.
Yeah.
And just to go through that with him and seeing the changes in his life, and seeing our name at the MGM on that.
Oh no, I saw the live videos.
Yeah.
Like you said, you never know who watching you.
Yeah. So that was like real emotional. Like it came up the other day on a social media our first year.
Yeah.
And I kind of looked at it and it hit me again. So even when you mentioned Bill's Chili Bowl, what Ben Chili Bowl done for me, and I'll let him speak for him, but I'm going to say what it done for me, it kind of gave me a clearance to say, okay, now I feel like I'm a producer. I feel like I belong in entertainment.
You know, in our industry, you do have to pave your way. You do have to be grounded.
Right.
What sometimes I don't respect, to an extent, from some, the way they bring things sometimes is when they're brand new,
Right.
and they pushing a certain way, and they're not appreciating the folks that went before them.
Right.
Because you gotta understand that some people went through some things for you to be able to just walk through like that.
Right.
So and I'm not referring to you, but it's just understand and appreciate folks what they done. You don't have to walk through their path, but they set one and just take it and go beyond that. You know, because that's just how it works. So yeah, you producer. You're a producer. And it's not because of the ticket sales, it's because the mindset is because of what you put out there.
Yeah.
And everything you do, I know it's hard to do top the gears,
Yeah.
you know, but you got to do it because everything you do got to be kind of like a reflection and then the next step above that.
Right.
And the same thing with films. And it may not always turn out the way you want it. And you got to figure out if you're going to push it or you're going to take it back and just put it on the shelf and work on it and do something else for it.
Right.
Because I know that's an area that you're looking to move into.
Yeah.
So
especially with doing Confessional Side Chick.
Yeah.
You know, for us to get that type of response, and we didn't think, we've been living under the gears so long for this last year. So everybody saying the gears. To hear people say, well, Confessional Side Chick was better than the gears, it kind of give you the confidence to say, you know, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a call from another movie producer, and he was explaining to me like Lovail, that they came and saw the thing about. I tell people why they should come to our place, because networking. Like when we do a play, we have writers, producers, we have directors. Everybody's coming to that building because they want to see the next project. So I got a call from a producer that does movie, and he was like, and I never thought about it until he told me. He said, well, Lovail, that was a great play. He said, what do you think about doing that in a movie, Confessional Side Chick? And I said, well, it sounds good. He said, you could definitely do it. If y'all like writing a movie in one set.
Yeah.
He said, do you know how much money you can save by a writer that can write in one set? Like everything came through that house. Yeah, it wasn't no different areas, nothing, just that one. He said, if you can write that, you can definitely write a movie because you can move around.
You can. So there's some difference. You can do it, but some differences. You know, stage play is written a certain way,
Right.
and emphasis is placed on it. Same thing with the actors.
Right.
Stage play actors, everything's over exaggerated, and it's supposed to be because you got a big audience. You want to reach everybody. Right. You got some hand gestures and all that. Transition over to film is more facial expressions, timing, that kind of thing. Right. So you can do that when you're writing it. I say that to say when you're writing it, and speaking as a writer, take into consideration things like when you're writing scripts and you have details and all that. Like you need to know what's going on in this room. You know, and you know, when people writing books and things, because they always want to change it over to a movie.
Right.
They're telling stories. They're not telling all the elements. You got to take all that into consideration because it has to tell you a story, right? Along with your camera angles and all that stuff. So when you're taking your play, keep whatever emphasis you're going to keep, but figure out how you want to twist it also, and make sure that it's not looking like a stage play on film.
Right.
So from one writer to another, just a little tip. And y'all got the benefit of having a team and writing. I got to think it all here.
we just added a female. One of our next projects where we're going into the dinner theater. We want to be a little more intimate with people.
Yeah.
We like writing stage plays so much that, you know, when it's a lot of people, you can't really get intimate. Connect. So we wanted to break it down a little bit and do something intimate. So we started writing the Golden Girls, the Black Golden Girls. Yeah. And we added a female to the group. When I say this is going, the two scenes, the two parts is going to be so phenomenal. The first one we call The Scam. Okay. And the second one we call Lorraine Bobbitt. And when I tell you that this is going to be hilarious, because just adding a female, like we want to add different coaches to our writing team, and we needed a female. Like we've been looking for a female so bad, because you know they bring a whole nother element. They do. So she came in with her thing. She wrote about what, a page or two?
She wrote about 4 pages.
Four pages, and then we just magically went crazy. It's just that female touch. Twist, yeah. Man, we went crazy. And I'm talking, something's going to be crazy, because if you start laughing, like we cracking up, holding our stomachs. And usually when we do that, if you give the script to someone else, they crack up. Then the audience is going to go crazy.
The right elements in it.
Yeah. So, we're adding to our team. And that's one thing that, I wanted to bring to this the city, whereas one of my biggest things is like we can work together, and not just talk about it, not say we can work together, then don't get in touch with you. I actually,
so I put I put it out there in the last segment about collaboration. Right. A couple people bit, and a couple people, some didn't. And it happens.
And I talked to your guy, and like I told him, we not in the film business yet.
Who's that?
He was here with us last time. Yeah, he's from California, but he was living.
Oh here. Yeah. Okay.
He lives here. I can't believe I
Marcus?
Because Marcus. Yeah.
Okay.
I've been talking to him, and I know I mentioned your name. And I said, hey, when we get together, I want to get the basis of the script down, because my movie is going to be called 1988: The Hustle. Okay. So it's all about that era of hustling in the Washington, D.C. area in 1988, which is going to be a phenomenal. But this is not going to be a small budget film. This has to be put together and done the way, I want to bring back some stores.
Man, so one of the things, when you're doing the films, you can have a small budget and try to make it look good. Yeah. There are some things missing. If you have a bigger budget, then there's certain things you can bring in there, and it just sets it right there. It's no different. It makes it no different than the next movie you see at the movie theater, quality-wise. Right. It makes a difference.
And I think DC needs that. You know what I'm saying? It's time for us to be on that big stage. Yeah. And I think that era between 86 to about 90 need to be told. Yeah. But the year that was very special for a lot of drug dealers was 1988. And this is going to be one of the films where I can tell you that's going to be different about it, because it's not going to be around killing. Okay. It's not, every movie we get is bang, bang, shoot 'em up. So this is more of on that fly side. This is how young men learn how to become entrepreneurs.
Yeah, because
everybody think a drug dealer just want to make some money. Correct. Have all the girls and wear clothes and jewelry and kill people. That's not
and that's true. What they see in movies. That's what's reflected. The gangster mentality, and this is a lifestyle.
So
reality though.
No, it's not. Well, it wasn't my reality, so that's why a lot of people wouldn't even understand. As me being, I was 18 in 1988, but a lot of people don't know the year before that, me and my guys went to Wall Street. A lot of people don't even know what Wall Street looked like. They might think it's a whole block. But me and my guys, we went up there, because that's how interested we was in and learning how to get to the money. Yeah. So stories like that need to be told, like, young men trying to learn entrepreneurship.
But it was symbolic using the Lincoln Theater also, because it's an iconic place. Yeah. For Black Broadway.
Yeah, that's where
that was been Chili Bowls.
That's where all the action was at.
Correct.
And so that's how we fell into the name DC Black Broadway. Yeah. Because when we first went up there, and I was like, we got to do the Lincoln. Somebody came up and said, well, this is Black Broadway. And we was like, no.
Duke Ellington.
We didn't even know it. Yeah, we didn't even know it. And then we sold out to Lincoln, and everybody came dressed so nice, and then somebody kept on saying, "Well, this like Black Broadway was,"
Correct.
and they kept on ringing, man. Y'all DC Black Broadway, and we was like, well, we might as well use the name. Then they keep on calling us that. So yeah, the Lincoln is very a special place for us now that we on Ben's Chili World War II. So you know, we try to do
All that
things.
stuff is connected. That's, to me, that's strategic thinking. You got to think things through. You can't just do things and expect a result without planning.
And see, and I tell people, like, a lot of people give us a lot of credit, and I take the credit, but I also tell people, like, we're gonna take the credit for this. But what happens is we get out in our cars. What people don't understand, we do our homework.
Yeah.
So if I'm up U Street and I talk to an older white lady, older black lady, they remember those days.
Yeah.
And they give us the information. And I tell them thank you and thank you.
Yeah.
And we come back and we just put our spin on it. But it's networking, it's getting out and knowing the people in the community. Because just doing a theater play, it's just not about the play.
Correct.
It's about the whole atmosphere of U Street. It's about the whole atmosphere of Washington, D.C. It's about the people in D.C. And it's about the look. So a lot of people wouldn't understand it takes a lot behind our production, and that's why a lot of people gravitate to our platform, because we dressed up. We had the old hats on. We had the girls.
That's pretty cool.
Man, we had the girls out there with the feathers, and that's what Miss Allie, that's what she fell in love with. Saturday, we got the traffic messed up. We got the girls, we got the cameras, we out there with the hats tilted, and she stopped, and she was in the car, she said, "Oh, dang, how y'all doing?" It's like, hey, she was like, "Y'all not playing." She's like, "I'm gonna put y'all on the wall."
That's
And
cool.
she's like, "Y'all need to go right over there and take a picture right there in front of Beans." And we went over there, took the picture, and you know,
We already was talking to her before that.
yeah. Like I sit back and watch. So I sit back and call you when I get to the film, say, "Cause how we do this, how we do this, how we do that. Now I'm gonna tell everybody now, hey, I called them, but I'm gonna get the credit because people look at it whereas, no, I learned from the people that's done it before me.
Yeah.
Just like Vernon, you know, a lot of people don't understand. Vernon taught us this game,
Yeah.
and it's just that me learning and putting my spin on it. You know, Kirk Franklin knew gospel music.
Revolution.
He just did it his way.
Yep.
And that's all I do. I can learn something from you. I'm going to definitely listen. People don't understand. I listen well. It shows like this to help the platform.
Yep.
And that's why I try to be here. I was just telling my manager, I've been here 45 minutes. I try to be at everything because I'm a type of person, I remember when I couldn't get on the show. And I don't, until I'm ready to walk away from this, I'm going to make everything I can make. I'm going to grind as hard as I can grind.
Yep.
And I was just telling him, I want him to oversee what we're doing, because if he don't do what he supposed to do, I didn't do my job.
You gotta keep going. That means you gotta keep going. Even if somebody tell you no, you got God already telling you. Don't take no for an answer. Keep going at it. And then they say come together with other people that's on the same accord as you.
Yeah.
So you gotta, me and him both writers, we both wanna make it in this writing world, in this entertainment world or whatever world we trying to get in. We gotta come together with other people like that and keep going. And whoever tell us no, that's yes to us.
So a young lady walked over me, and I'm sitting over there, and they know that we're just started writing. You need to meet Mr. Kazar. He's right there. And I'm like, you already look like you're famous. I'm like, he like your name. She said, don't you leave here without meeting him. I said, that's all you got to say. I said, what's that? I said, introduce us. She walked me over there, and I said, but I was so, when I left, I was like, oh, because you one of the first guys I met where somebody ran up to me and say, hey, you need to know that guy right there. Yeah. And now I'm sitting here on a show with you. I'm like, and it, you know.
I remember talking about the years before when you was planning. You were talking about DC creating them.
Yeah. And I come, and now I'm sitting here and the projects that came through. Because even, I think a lot of people got to understand it. You already won once you get the project completed. You know, even if you don't sell no seats,
Yep.
if it goes in that venue, you have already won.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's just a blessing by itself, you know? So when my manager called and said, hey, y'all got, I'm there. I
appreciate that.
I'll tell her the story. So I tell everybody the story. I just told the story about 15 times. So, you know, it's just good to be in a position. All right, our next up and coming project is we actually trying to do two things in one. We're trying to bring back we're trying to do a DC Black Broadway week where we're going to present the Giz and Chocolate City Records.
Wow.
So we want to do two theater shows in 1 week with a lot of festivities behind it. Chocolate City Records is about 3 girls that started with Go-Go, had big success in R&B, and see if they're going to be able to mix the R&B and Go-Go into their routine. Great. We think it's going to be better than the Giz. It's a Go-Go musical, so that's coming in March. You can find me, Lovail Long, on everything, whether Instagram and Facebook. But Facebook is what I really like to use. So you can find me on Instagram, Facebook as Lovail Long.
Awesome.
And you can find me on Instagram at Salahuddin_the Giz, with just one word, Giz, _Giz. And you can find me on Facebook, Salahuddin Mahdi, my whole name.
Cool.
So,
Awesome. Well, folks, that's going to do it for this edition of KZAR Spotlight of the Month. On our next edition, I believe what we're going to do is we're going to meet with the comedians, and we're going to get this story from the comedians. Because, you know, they're funny, but they got a story to tell from how they get their material.
Right.
So we're gonna bring that to you, and thanks for joining us this time, and thanks again for coming back and sharing extensively your story.
Yeah.